am the Headless Headhunter, and this is a resume review of a Salesforce administrator, which I don't think I've ever recruited. I might have done it like... Fix that. I might have done it like 8-9 years ago, so definitely not an expert on Salesforce administrator, but from what I could tell, these were going to be the most common keywords and qualifications. Take them with a bit of a grain of salt. So Salesforce, obviously, that's going to be important to put Salesforce. Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and Lightning Experience, basically any other type of cloud. This is going to be a qualification, so you're going to have to go into detail about this, which is translating technical concepts for non-technical audiences, like moi. Microsoft BI, Einstein, only one JD said Einstein, so that's probably a bonus. But what a lot of them did say is developing reports and dashboards. That was important. Here, triggers, Apex, again, only a couple had these, so AWS services, MS Azure. Cross-functional was important. So overall, what I'm going to be looking for is Salesforce, cloud, explaining complex topics to non-technical people, and cross-functional along with like data management tools. So those were, let me fix that. Those were what we're going to be looking for. This person has sent, they're targeting Salesforce admin, business analyst, or consultant. I am specifically looking at Salesforce administrator. They usually tailor your resume to each job description. Don't do that. You should not need to ever tailor your resume to each job description. But they've yet to receive a single interview after 158. So I'm assuming there's going to be something very wrong with this resume. So first off, there is a lot of wasted space. This is immediately what I see. The bullet point. So there are important certifications, and you do want those at top. But for the most case, and 90% of the resumes, and your bullet points are your star. Your bullet points are the main course. And anything that stops me or delays me from getting to the main course is not great. Typically, you can put education inserts above the bullet points for your jobs, which is, I believe, Salesforce is one of those where you definitely want to do, but this is not needed, right? First off, this is huge. This up here is a massive amount of like wasted space. I have to get here until I even get to your certs. And then core competencies, okay. Whoa, what the hell? So here's the problem. You have 2 pages before I get to what I really care about. You need to use my template. Already I can tell this is going to be at the very least a template issue. This is my resume template, right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to do it like this, right? Arial font. This is 14 and bolded. This is 12.5. Everything else is 10.5. I want you to put your education inserts right here so it's immediately under that. And I know you have 4. Try to fit it into 3 lines. Maybe 4 is okay along with education because Salesforce, maybe one of those research are more important. But then you actually go to the work history because no recruiters are going to stop reading at this. And your bullet points are what we actually give a crap about. I'm sorry. Like that's the main thing is the bullet points. Again, there are important certs, but we shouldn't have to go 2 pages to find this, which is the only thing that really, really, really matters. So I'm sure a lot of them didn't even get this far. But spearheaded Salesforce environment rollouts and sandbox refreshes, reducing downtime, workflows, process builders. Okay, design and implement reports and dashboards. So these aren't terrible. The fact that you mentioned Salesforce is great, right? That obviously that's what you do. You want that a lot in your resume. But I have to go all the way here, and I don't see anything about maybe cloud, which did look important. I didn't see anything about cross-functional. I do like specifically this one. This one is good. This is a good bullet point. Because you want to show that you've done reports and dashboards. But yeah, I mean, half of this is, you just need to burn the resume and start again. That's the only thing I can think of with this is everything here is numbers, and there's too many numbers. You're going to burn people out, right? I want to know that you just say, not just spearheaded, just say led the Salesforce environment rollouts, and which did X and Y. And again, maybe the keywords are going to be slightly different than this, but I'm going to bet that they're much closer than what you've got here. I want to see that you've done Sales Cloud. I want to see the word Salesforce more. I know, that's basic, but it's important. I want to see that you've done maybe Power BI. I want to see that you've explained complex topics to people like me, because I don't even know what a Salesforce does. I recruited for it once like 8 years ago. So I sure as hell don't know what it is now. You need to show me. And what if the case is you get a recruiter who's working on 28 other requisitions that are all different, and then their boss says, hey, here's a Salesforce consultant, and you have 20 minutes to learn about it or less. You need to write it as that is your audience. So I can't even suggest what to put more in the bullet points because none of these are really good. Because here's the thing, I don't know what you do. I don't know what Salesforce does. You have to kind of teach me a little bit. I know people are going to rage at me, but that's important. So let's look at the next one, which no recruiter is going to get down to here. Salesforce flows, that's fine. Partners have custom Salesforce. See, this is fine, but yeah, I don't see anything else. Like, again, cross-functional, and I'd say specifically for like this type of role, is explaining complex topics for non-technical audiences. So based on the keywords and qualifications that I found in my search before doing this video, I could not move you forward. Obviously, if I was doing this for real, I would have a more accurate keywords and qualification list because I would directly go with the manager and be able to talk with them, but it doesn't seem like the skills you have in the resume are aligning with what the market wants. So this is not a pass. Redo it. And for the love of all recruiting gods in heaven and hell, please, 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 please switch the formatting. Just basic is best. So let's move on to the next video. So this is a junior robotics engineer, and I don't know what I'm looking at here. Yeah. So there's a couple of problems with this, both on my end and from this resume. First off, they stated that they wanted a couple of things and they took out some links, and it may make the resume look bad. I don't know if you meant to send this, but this is like crazy hard to find. In addition, this is not a resume. I think you sent in the wrong thing. I wanted to post this so that you know what this is, but I will say in addition to that is you wanted specifically a robotics engineer, but there's a couple of types of robotics engineers, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to directly find which one I'm looking for, because if one is going to be like software and one is hardware, they're going to be different keywords. From the keywords I saw, Python, C, C++, and CAD and designing are actually good ones. So these are correct, and I believe that, along with Linux. So weirdly enough, I think you may have the keywords here. There's maybe some more that you want, but I can't review this because I don't know what this is. So I don't know what you meant to send, but I guess resend it and then I can review it and then be very specific with the type of engineer that you want to be looking for, because the software and the hardware are a little bit different in keywords. So let's move on to the next resume. This is a resume of a business analyst. So they actually wanted to look for a couple of things, but I can only search one. So we're going for business analyst. They've applied to, if this is correct, 25 to only get a single application, which isn't bad. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's solid. So, especially for someone that's a junior or fresh. What we are going to be looking for a business admin is going to be SQL, data analyst, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, cross-functional from IC to stakeholders and managers, multitask products, explain complex topics to non-technical people, and Excel and Word and PowerPoint. So let's look at that. This is, okay, so it looks like you are not in the United States, so full disclosure, I am a US-based recruiter, and, you know, sometimes hiring is different in different countries. So, because this should only really need to be 2 or 3 max lines, but, you know, potentially saved. That's weird this is potentially. Okay, here we go. This identifying gaps in country circuit data, that's fine. Evaluated data quality using advanced Excel, perfect. Global data, blah, blah, SQL, good. Data-driven insights, I have seen that to be something. For market entry, market research, competitive analysis, that is something that they would like. Identified 8 major competitors. So first things first is, this is a nightmare to read. What you need to do is just make it basic. your resume should only be black and white except for like your contact information at the top, which can, you know, the phone number is going to show up blue, and that's fine. There's so many conflicting colors and everything with this, is that it's actually making it difficult to find what I'm going to be looking for. And the sad thing is you have a lot of what I believe they'd be looking for. The biggest thing is going to be Excel, SQL, data-driven insights, which is good. You bolded those, except you bolded all of this stuff, and I don't need all the rest of this. So stop bolding everything. Please don't bold everything. And just, the less bold in your resume, the better. But if they're able to read what they need to, it looks like this is mostly solid. What I would be missing is probably dashboards, Power BI, and cross-functional, and how you explain complex topics to you know, non-technical people. But you have some of the stuff I need, and I can see you moving forward. It's just, there's so much bolded here that it becomes irrelevant. So stop with the bolding, please. This is making it harder for your recruiter to find what you need, and you have what we need mostly. Like, you've got most of the solid ones. Like here, provided data insight to other teams. That's fine. That kind of counts as cross-functional. It's not exactly, but close enough. Except I missed that because you bolded everything. You must trust that we can find the keywords. If they're here, we can find them, but not when they're all bolded. So your formatting is hurting you, and I'm gonna move on to the next resume. But your bullet points are mostly correct. It's just, I can't even tell because my hands are bouncing everywhere. So please use the formatting that I have. So let's go to the next one. This is a software engineer. What type? I don't know. Hopefully a sign of a good software engineer resume is that I can tell if it's full stack, back end, front end, or whatever other kind of thing it is pretty quickly. So they've applied to about 75 applications to one interview, which isn't great, but I think they're also like just graduated, which is, I'd say, sort of the bare minimum that you want. So let's see if we can't fix some stuff. So it says they're struggling to get past resume screening. I assume you mean the recruiter, because that is who screens the resume, is the recruiter. The ATS does not screen. That is a common myth. And while it does exist, it's very rare in the market. So can I tell what kind of software engineer you are? Let's find out. This is fine. I don't know why this needs to be bolded. And this can also be one line. Let's see. Collaborated with the team to deploy and configure a Signal messenger server on AWS using EC. Okay, that's fine. Set up PostSQL, Redis database. Okay, work closely with senior engineers to debug Java applications. Okay. See, contribute to deployments and server infrastructure to operational efficiency, and command structures, cloud infrastructure. So, my biggest problem with this is I'm not fully sure. I assume that you're backend. Also, backend Java is not very hot right now. Full stack is sort of the way to go. But you have a lot of good keywords, which is PostSQL. You have AWS. You have EC2, which, while not every resume needs, is a bonus to have. And you also have that. But I don't know what else you do. Did you? What else besides Java? I kind of need to know. Like, did you use Kubernetes? Did you use RESTful APIs? Those are keywords. You're kind of missing stuff, which is sort of my issue with this. Is all I've seen is Java, AWS, PostSQL, and that's it. Which is good. Those are good keywords, but they're only 3 and you need more. And tech in general is highly, highly keyword based. It's just the nature of it. It's more keywords than qualification, and I need more. So let me try to dig down. It's possible a recruiter may not dig past this, but web application automate interview scheduling for over 200 developers. Spring Boot, Java, PostSQL, Redis. Okay, so I'm assuming you're backend. React, that's solid. Yeah, you're just missing stuff, right? Like, you're just missing stuff. What about, again, not a ton, and because you didn't tell me what kind of engineer you are, I couldn't find the exact ones, but I'm just missing stuff. And that's why I think this resume does work enough to get you an interview every 75, which I want to be clear, tech is in a huge downturn at the time of this video. It is, you have like actual developers with 8 years experience getting 1 in 50 interviews at best. So 1 to 75, while not good, does mean that stuff about this is working. And I can already see which one, which is AWS, PostSQL, and Java. But I need more. I need you to put a little bit more, right? Like, I know this is going to be a full stack and it looks like your back end, but as an example, if you said collaborate, just say worked with, by the way, you don't need to say collaborated with, worked with a team to deploy and configure a single messenger server along on AWS in an environment of Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, and CSS. I know that's full stack, but that would be a good full stack sentence. Your keywords are critical and the key to you getting a job, especially in software engineering. So I'm missing some stuff. I think you definitely have the right idea. I just need a little more, which is usually not the case, because I'm going to assume that you're a back-end Java engineer based on this. And if I'm wrong, then the resume doesn't show it. So you just need a little bit more. And let's move on then to our next video. Resume. For our final review of this video, we've got a AI engineer. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It seriously helps me out. I do not understand the algorithm, but I know it controls my life. So they also stated they are an international student in the US. So if you are applying to need a visa, you're probably going to need about 2 to 3 times the number of applications that somebody who is a green card holder or US citizen would require. Unless you're on OPT, maybe you could do it on OPT. It's going to be a lot more difficult for you to get a job. So if you've applied to 150 to 1, that's not great, but it may take close to 75 to 100, and that would be good to actually get the right interview. So if that's what you're looking for. So what we're going to be looking for, at least from a skills department, because again, I'm not an immigration lawyer, this is just stuff I've picked up while doing recruiting, is, I hate having to say this, AI, ML, LLM, NLP. Any of those is good. It seemed NLP was pretty popular, which is neural language processing, I think. Python, R, MATLAB, one of the other 2 coding languages could probably do too. LangChain and Scikit-learn. Cloud, any type of cloud is good. Also, I forgot to put SQL. SQL should probably be in there. Actually, I don't know if SQL should be in this one. TensorFlow, PyTorch, SDLC-CI/CD, DevOps, and Hadoop, Spark, or Kafka. The last 2 lines, it's not necessary all the time, but it's a bonus. So let's see if we can find them. I am an AI engineer with over 4 years experience in only deploying AI machine. Okay, this doesn't help. I don't think this is needed. Work history. Core developer responsible for LLM fine-tuning, Agonite workflows for automation deployment. That's fine. You have LLM on there. LLM is good, and Python. Deployed the LLM on AWS to call it as an API point. Created X for. So here's kind of my issue with this, right? I think you've got most of the keywords right. I actually took this off of my website because nobody was using it right. I don't think you should use this. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I used to have this on my thing and it doesn't work. This stuff is good. I just want to make sure that they're readable, because fine-tuned a 70B perimeter LL language model using Unsloth on Python is probably a little too technical. And the reason is, when you're searching for tech resumes, the person who is searching for it does not know tech, because the common misconception of recruiting is that we decide the skills of the candidates, and that's not true. We're looking for the bare minimum qualifications. That's the point of a resume, is to show the bare minimum qualifications. And you kind of show a lot of these, but it may be kind of hard to find. So I kind of want you to write this, right? As if you're writing it for somebody that you know who does not know how to turn on a computer. Let's assume that is the audience. And this is better, I think, than maybe the previous ones you've done. And the formatting is fine. Again, I don't think this is needed. And take this off. I know that was on mine. I changed it. But yeah, it's hard to read, because when you're reading, say, when you only have 30 seconds to read a resume, and you have 45 other requisitions that are all in various stages and possibly different industries, it can be tough to find what I'm looking for. So, core developer responsible for LLM fine-tuning, okay, and then my mind sort of shuts down on this stuff, but also this is not necessarily the stuff we're really looking for. Fine-tune in 70B perimeter using Llama 3.3. Again, not really looking for Llama 3.3, but I am looking for this. But I might miss Python, because this whole thing is kind of keywords. So I would like you to sort of, I think you have the right idea. I think you have a lot of the good keywords. I want you to, I hate to say it, dumb it down a little bit, right? So it's a responsible for our AI model, which used Python, AWS, and Fast API and Docker, right? Make it like that. And you can have one or two sentences like that are sort of like this, but that's very important doing it. So again, I don't think this is bad. I think this would move forward a lot, but you are having a very steep uphill climb as you are international. So assuming you are applying to the US as an international, I think you'd be using an OPT, you're going to need about 3 to 4 times of resume sent to even get to the close to the point of what a U.S. citizen or green card holder would be. So, and I want even with a good resume, you're still on a steep climb. So, I hope this made sense. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, I'll keep reviewing your resumes as you keep sending them in. Bye.